Today in court, Felkel's attorney saying his abuse of prescription drugs and mental issues caused Felkel to target McKenzie.
We heard in court that he has a drug problem. A drug problem doesn't impact your heart. That's where the hate is.
The Justice Department calls the attack disturbing and racially motivated, saying hate crimes harm not only victims but entire communities.
So we got a man gets 9 years for shooting at a black neighbor.
Again now in federal court, where a Richland County man has been sentenced for threatening his black neighbor in what prosecutors called a racially motivated attack. It was a year ago when Jonathan Felkel used a racial slur and displayed a gun during a confrontation with his Spring Valley neighbor, Jarvis McKenzie. Prosecutors said Felkel's actions were motivated by race and violated McKenzie's federal civil rights. Well, late today, a judge sentenced Felkel to 9 years in prison. After the sentencing, Richland Sheriff Leon Lott and McKenzie spoke with reporters outside the federal courthouse.
He described the hate that he had in his heart for black people, and the only reason why he was riding around that morning was looking for black people to shoot. He was going to shoot our victim. That was his intent, and at the last moment, he didn't do it.
I know I got to keep moving on, you know what I'm saying, to take care of my family. I just can't stop because of the situation that happened, but it's always going to play a fact in my family's mind. My girls being there in their mind, it's always going to be in their mind because they're young, but I got to do what I got to do to take care of them.
Hey, see, you got to, end of the day, he's going to have to move on and get past this. But it goes to show you that hate is not gone. Racism is not gone, like some people will say is gone. I don't think it's as prevalent. Of course, I don't think it's as prevalent as it used to be. I, for one, haven't felt threatened or felt like that I've been discriminated against or it's held me back or anything like that. But there are still people out there who hate you because of the color of your skin, solely for that reason. Now, some people go overboard with it and say that it's all those people. Everyone thinks like that. I would never say that. But it is there and it's still alive and well. I think it's moving to a point to where it's eventually going to be gone, but we're not there yet. Let's keep going though.
Felkel's state charges are still pending.
Let's get over into this next video and get more details.
Good Thursday evening to you. Thanks for joining us for the news at 10. And we begin tonight with a Midlands man who admitted to targeting a black neighbor because of his race. That man will now spend 9 years in federal prison. A judge giving Jonathan Felkel the maximum penalty for a hate crime this afternoon after being convicted of shooting at a random man because of the color of his skin. Our Kiana Jordan was in the federal courtroom in Columbia during this afternoon's sentencing hearing. This is a landmark case considering the state doesn't have a hate crime law.
Now, I will say I am happy to hear just him admitting it, that you admit to it and you live up to it. Yeah, to tell your truth. Let's keep going.
Yeah, Brian, that's right. Jonathan Felkel was the first person charged under Richland County's hate ordinance, and then the feds stepped in and hit him with federal charges. Now, this afternoon, a federal judge sentencing Felkel to 108 months in prison, saying the punishment should serve as a deterrent to others motivated by hate.
I wasn't expecting that to happen that day, you know what I'm saying? I was going to work, and then, you know, as far as what I found out today in the courtroom, I was a target.
Thursday afternoon, Jarvis McKenzie saying justice was served, but it isn't over yet after the federal sentencing of a man who shot at him last July because he's black. McKenzie saying he still doesn't feel safe.
Being that it happened in my neighborhood, that supposed to be a safe place for me and my family to call home, and it's not that no more. He took that away from us.
34-year-old Jonathan Felkel was sentenced to 9 years in federal prison for violating the housing rights of his black neighbor.
Do this, you're going to be going to federal prison for a very lengthy time.
The incident happened last July 17th in Columbia's Spring Valley neighborhood. Court officials say Felkel admitted to deputies that he was driving around looking for black criminals when he saw Jarvis McKenzie waiting for a ride to work. That's when Felkel fired a gun out the window of his car and shouted, "You better run, boy," at the victim. Today in court, Felkel's attorney saying his abuse of prescription drugs and mental issues caused Felkel to target McKenzie.
We heard in court that he has a drug problem. A drug problem Does it impact your heart? That's where the hate is.
The Justice Department calls the attack disturbing and racially motivated, saying hate crimes harm not only victims but entire communities. The FBI, U.S. Attorney's Office, and Richland County Sheriff's Department all worked on the case, helping fast track it, with the conviction and sentencing happening almost a year to the day from the incident.
Today, justice was served. If you commit a hate crime in Richland County or anywhere in this state, you're going to be prosecuted.
See, I like that. I 100% like that. This is a tragic situation. Tragic that the family had to go through this. I'm happy that he was caught. But let's finish it up.
Al Felkel previously pleaded guilty to the federal civil rights charge. After today's sentencing, he'll serve 9 years in federal prison and still faces state and local charges, including assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature and hate intimidation. Live in studio, I'm
Absolutely crazy. Let's go back 1 second just to look at his picture again, because this man looks like, you know what I'm trying to say. But the defense attorney, it sounds like he tried to say that this only happened because he was induced on drugs, high on drugs. But like the sheriff said, hate is in your heart. Drugs aren't just going to bring it out. Let's get over into the AI breakdown, y'all, just to see what else we can find out about this case. I'm happy that he has been sentenced, and it sounds appropriate sentencing. But let me know your thoughts. Do you think the sentencing was too high for the crime, or do you think it was not high enough? Let's get over into it, though. So as we know, Jonathan, 34, was arrested and sentenced to 9 years in federal prison for the racially motivated attack against his black neighbor. The sentence was handed down by the U.S. District Judge at the federal courthouse in Columbia, South Carolina. On July 17th, he drove into his gated community in the northeast Columbia, and fired a semi-automatic rifle at his neighbor, who was just standing there near the gate. As he fired, he shouted, "You better keep running, boy." You can feel that hate in that tone, can't you? So he admitted to law enforcement that he was targeting him because of his race. Prosecutors revealed that he confessed to patrolling the neighborhood looking for black people, assuming they were criminals. He said he assumed. He said every black man is a criminal. We know that he pleaded guilty in March 2026 to the federal civil rights crime for violating the housing rights of his neighbors under the Fair Housing Act. He also the first person ever charged under Richland County's local hate crime ordinance, which passed just weeks before the incident. In addition to his 9-year prison sentence, he will serve 3 years as supervised release. He is not eligible for parole, and he must undergo regular drug testing and mental health medication adherence upon his release. He still faces pending local state charges for assault and weapon possession. Wow. Now, I did, of course, want to see if there was any more details that we missed. The prosecution revealed that he admitted to originally intending to fatally shoot him. He told investigators that he changed his mind at the last second and chose to fire a warning shot just to scare him. He was this close to trying to kill him, all because of his skin. They said that the victim was terrified and fled across the street, where he frantically checked himself for gunshot wounds before calling his fiancée. The shooting took place at approximately 6 a.m. outside of the entrance. He was arrested within 24 hours because he fired the rifle from inside his vehicle, and the high-definition security camera at the neighbor's gate captured the image of his car and license plate. We know that he was originally indicted on 2 federal counts violating housing rights and using a firearm during the commission of a crime. As part of the negotiation and plea deal, the firearm count was dismissed, resulting in the agreed upon 9-year cap. Following the sentencing, the Richland County Sheriff's addressed the public speculation regarding his potential substance abuse issue. He basically rejected the drug addiction as an excuse, stating a drug problem doesn't impact your heart. That's where the hate is. So the case drew heavy national and media attention because South Carolina is one of the only 2 states in South Carolina without a comprehensive state-level hate crime law. Because local state prosecutors lacked a hate crime statute, the FBI Columbia Field Office and the federal prosecutors used the Fair Housing Act to bring civil rights charges, allowing them to secure a heavy prison sentence. Wow. I am happy that he was caught, but like I said, it's good to hear when somebody admits what they're feeling. He admits what he was thinking in his heart. And like I said, it goes to show you that it's not dead in this country. I don't think, of course, I would never say that it's as bad as it used to be, but it's not dead yet, and we're working towards it. There are still some people who hate you because of the color of your skin and not the contents of your character.